Welcome on into the Browns versus Bengals preview. If you know me, you know it's your boy G. Bush. Today, we get right to it. Bengals versus Browns. That means Burrow versus Deshaun Watson. Who has the edge in this matchup? We'll get you ready for that. And I will tell you, while it's finally our time, and y'all need to stand on what you need to stand on. We'll be doing that coming back next here on the first annual Browns versus Everybody podcast with your boy G. Bush. Welcome on into the Browns versus Bengals preview. If you don't know, now you know it's your boy G. Bush. Shout out to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. You can check all my other content out at youtube.com/@GarrettBush. If you're wondering about the chat today, because the way we had to set it up today, I won't be able to see your comments and thoughts. If you are on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, make sure you go ahead and keep sending your chats and different things like that. I can't see them on this screen. Next week, we'll have that figured out, and we'll get all the little kinks worked out, but we will make sure we get that taken care of. Hey, on today's show, great show. We'll get to the predictions. We'll make sure you know who G. Bush finally picks to win this football game. And I think if you some Kool-Aid drinkers, you know exactly where I'm going with that. Stay tuned for predictions. We get the keys to victory. You don't understand what the Browns need to do until you hear from me. I think this game comes down to one simple thing. We'll figure out what that is coming up here on Keys to the Win. Also, Denzel Ward. We got a little update on Denzel Ward's health. Will he be 100%? We will find out. We'll have some comments from Coach Kevin Stefanski. We'll also, go through the thought process. If Denzel is not 100%, what does that look like? But first and foremost, we got to get down to what we need to get down to, and that's it's our time. It's our time, Cleveland Browns fans. And what do you mean by it's our time? Today is the opportunity that we've been looking forward to. Today is the time where so many of us in the past have looked forward to having a team, a roster like we have right now with the Cleveland Browns. And I'm seeing a lot of people around the community, a lot of people around in our blogs, on our radio stations that are just gun shy, shell-shocked. A lot of people are still spilling the rhetoric from their grandfathers, still spilling the rhetoric from their fathers. It's a new day. The sins of the father have nothing to do with what we're doing today, right? It is our time. And I think right now there's a lot of people that don't understand that we put the time in, we put the effort in, and that now is our time. 10 years ago, go back and look at this division. 10 years ago, look at the division and look what quarterback stood in our way. Ben Roethlisberger in our way, in a big way. I'm so tired of hearing about how many wins he had in Cleveland Stadium versus the guys that we had, right? Right? You go back and you look at Joe Flacco. You take a look at this guy, he was 18, 19 wins. Matter of fact, he got a win last year playing backup duty with the New York Jets. We had to hear about him all day and twice on Sunday. Go back and look 10 years ago. This isn't the first time the Cincinnati Bengals have been here or arrived. They were doing that with Marvin Lewis. They were playing bully ball with Vontaze Burfict and Pac-Man Jones, and they had Andy Dalton. We had to hear about the Red Rifle for 10 years. Now you telling me, after we've dealt with all those guys, and they push us to the back, and they tell us and remind us how terrible we were, and remind us how we didn't have a quarterback, and remind us how well those guys came into Cleveland Brown Stadium and played football well. You telling me that 10 years later, we get old enough to see those guys retire like Big Ben? We see these guys like Andy Dalton become backup and journeymen? And you meaning to tell me we still got to lose to these teams? We still got to play the humble role? We still got to play second fiddle to guys that are old and done? Now we see the new guys coming up, and they want us automatically to pay homage to Kenny Pickett, Cody Pickett, whatever his name is. You telling me you want us to pay homage to that guy again, right? Oh, he's the second coming of everything. He's so good. Oh my goodness, he threw 5 passes in the preseason. Tell me, let me ask you an example. What's the difference between Deshaun Watson's 6 games that he played and them ones that Kenny Pickett was playing last year that was terrible? I'll wait. You see, that's the narrative that goes around. They'll count 6 games for Deshaun Watson, but they won't count 6 games for Kenny. Oh, he was learning, and look what he did in the preseason. But it don't count for Deshaun Watson. Let's get right down to the brass tacks of it. A lot of y'all don't understand how I get down here in the barbershop. We're not splitting no hairs with this. Right now, we're trying to motivate y'all to understand y'all got a team that can go places. Y'all got a team with a franchise quarterback. Y'all got a team with a franchise running back. And y'all got a group and a fan base that is scared to support them. That's scared to stand on what they're supposed to stand on. That is scared to stay. And listen, we got one of the best pass rushers in the world with Myles Garrett. Why are we sitting here talking about Kenny Pickett and TJ Watt and Hayward and all these guys like these dudes is the second cup? Listen, I don't see it. I don't see it. I get it. Oh, we have to see it first, though, G. Bush. If I got to see it first, I don't care nothing about Kenny Pickett then. Just let's be clear about it. But it's time. It is time for us to step up and stand out and stand on what we are supposed to be standing on. And by the way, Deshaun Watson has been better than Lamar Jackson. By the way, Deshaun Watson is better than Kenny Pickett. And by the way, Joe Burrow, I like you a lot. You my guy, but you can get broke off too. It's time that we got to talk about it. It's time. Listen, I like Joe Burrow, but he could catch that smoke too. That's the type of energy that we got to start having if we're going to have a football team that's worth anything. My job is not to be bowing down to guys. Last time I checked, you didn't win no Super Bowl. I like Patrick Mahomes, and that's who we trying to get after and how we going to get good move. But until we start disrespecting the people in our own backyard, and until we start playing bully ball with the guys in our own backyard and start giving them that same energy that they give us, we ain't never going to get no respect. I'm tired of turning my radios on, having people act like they begging the Steelers to let us win. Maybe 10-7, maybe 10-7, we can get it done. Maybe 10-7, maybe possibly. I don't know how we go from 10-7 to 12-5. I just don't see that. You ain't seen nothing. That's the problem. We done lost so much, you can't even see what's right in front of your face. We done lost so much that I heard people arguing. Listen, shout out to Autumn Graham, but if it wasn't in living color, I don't respect it. I'm sorry. I need to see you in full color. I need to see that. And at the end of the day, we're at a point where people have been bad so long, they can no longer tell what's the difference between mediocre, good, stellar, or horrible. But don't worry, that's why you got the barbershop. That's why you got your boy G. Bush in here. It's the Browns' time. We've waited. The 1-31, we've waited patiently. Taking all the wisecracks, all the late night jokes. We waited. We waited our turn. But guess what? I'm going to be petty on Twitter this year. That was my New Year's resolution. This guy, I'm petty on Twitter. Wait till we get to rolling it up. And I know I ain't the only one. I done talked to all these guys. See, listen, behind the scenes, you know what they telling me? Deshaun got something to prove. You know what behind the scenes they telling me? G. Bush, we got that energy. We going to be special. We going up top. We got something. You think Nick Chubb ain't stewing? You think Nick Chubb ain't? Stop playing with us like that, bro. And when they go ahead and validate that, I'm waiting to get back. I'm waiting to get that energy where when you come up in the Cleveland Browns Stadium, you got something to behold. And Joe Burrow, guess what? You better be 100%. I want to see you with that leg. Come on here and limp it in here. We got something for you. We got something for you. Coming up here, we just don't talk about it. We're not going to just motivate you. We're going to get to some keys here. Because I think it's not only the Browns' time just because, you want to do rah-rah stuff. I think that it's the Browns' time for a specific reason. The Browns have now had a collective talent and a collective base that there aren't any excuses. There aren't any. I tried to find one for them. Couldn't do it. I couldn't find no excuse for them, right? I'm looking down the list. I'm like, you looking down the list. You like, listen, I'm about to make this. It's about to be a crazy dish. Let me go to the store and see if they got these. See, they done had the nerve. They had the ground beef special over here. Let me give me 2 packs of them. Oh, look at this lettuce. This lettuce is fresh as hell. Give me some of that lettuce. Let me go over here. I know they ain't about to let me get. Let me see. They got some apple cider over here. You know, I want some apple cider. It's kind of good in fall of the year. Let me see. They got the apple cider over here ready early during the year. They done messed around and let me get 2 gallons of that. Let me top it all off. Hold on. What's this? Oh, y'all got cheese. Let me get these cheese. Let me get some tomatoes. Everybody, what you making, G. Bush? I don't know. You just put it all in a pot, and it's going to be good because everything is fresh and everything is on deck. If I'm looking at this Cleveland Browns offense, and this is why I be saying people don't, do you guys listen to music or do you just skim through it? I'm starting to think you guys don't watch film. I'm starting to think that you guys don't do anything but roll over and come. Let me just show up. Yeah, I'm doing a radio show. Let me just show up and just say everything that all the guys on NFL Network. And by the way, have you already started to see the tides turning a little bit? G. Bush done put out 3-4 videos, and all of a sudden, well, so one of the people said they couldn't even mention the Cleveland Browns name until Bucky Brooks had to break it down for them. Until the guys who actually played, that put that homework in, actually saw what they doing on the field and said, oh, goodness. See, half of it is this, guys, when you talk about when you preview this situation and why Cleveland Browns is down. It's not that they don't know you got talent. They just hope you ain't playing well. I hope I don't have to mention this guy, Deshaun Watson. Good gracious, I don't want to mention him as one of the best players in the league. I mean, he's killing us right now. I hope he fumbles. See, that's wishful thinking. Because if you was watching what we have, there's no way. Tell me a top 5 quarterback and a top 5 running back, the best running back. Tell me, look around. Where's the best pass rusher in the league? He resides in Cleveland, Ohio. Where's one of the best offensive line? Resides right here in your backyard. Now, what are you going to say? What are you talking about? What are we saying here? And tomorrow, I'm saying tomorrow. This is Wednesday. I'm recording Wednesday. Make sure. Matter of fact, if y'all in here, hit that like button for me. I can't see what y'all doing. If y'all like what I'm talking about, hit that like button. Stop playing with me. But listen, it's Wednesday. The reality of it is people say, you know what? I would have liked to have Joe Burrow be out. You know what? I ain't trying to hear none of that. Come on out here, Joe. Because what I want to do is I want to make an example out of Joe Burrow. And I want to make an example out of the Cincinnati Bengals to say, if they did that to the Bengals, what are they going to do to us? If that pass rush got to Joe Burrow like that, what are they going to do with Kenny Pickett? If they jumping routes like that, if they physical at the point of attack like that, if they catching a football like that, if Deshaun Watson is on like that, if he leading the huddle like that, if Kevin Stefanski is scheming up players like that, we in trouble. That's exactly what I want to see. I don't want nothing else than Joe Burrow. I like the mentality that the Chiefs got. We match up better with the Buffalo Bills, but we want Joe Burrow. Bring him over here. I like you too. You from Athens. I went to OU. No, your pops is cool, but at the end of the day, we want to smoke. That's the type of energy that we need to be having. Because quiet as kept, Cleveland, you got one of them dudes in your backyard too. You got one of them dudes. You just ain't seen it yet. I know. You got one of them dogs too at quarterback. You got one of them dudes that can thread it. You got one of those guys. I know you ain't seen it yet. But trust me, come Sunday, we on. Before we get to that, before we get to our next segment, let's get to this, man. Before we get to our next segment, we definitely got to get to this. Appreciate you guys out there. Shout out to my people on Patreon. If you want to become a Patreon member today, we will let you know. We'll get that link in the description. We want to thank our Patreons, our MVP tier, Greg Smith, All-Star tier, Amari Spence, Robert Norman Sr.'s our starting lineup tier, Amari Spence as well, Bradley Thomas Bruns, Gail Mayo, Spencer Mahone, Aaron, Brandon, Russell Edwards, Timothy Tyree, Anthony G. Perry, and Howard Avanesel. Thank you guys so much for being part of the Barbershop Patreon. If you do want to join Patreon, we give you exclusive things over there where you get an inside look at my life, you get an inside look at my crib, what I do on my off days, all those good things. Plus, we give you birthday shout outs and personalized messages and exclusive content that you don't find on USCSS or you don't find on the radio, and specifically for you guys over at Patreon. So thanks for all of those individuals for joining and being on Patreon. Let's get into this. And this is one of the things that really is going to be a big part of this game plan. And so Kevin Stefanski has already come out. Denzel Ward, as this thing was being produced, Denzel Ward was up in the air. We still have him up in the air. However, a good sign is Denzel Ward is practicing today. So matter of fact, let's get to Kevin Stefanski, add a little something. Kevin Stefanski talked yesterday. He spoke again today about Denzel Ward. One thing about Denzel Ward is when you look at the situation with what the Bengals have going on, 3 receivers, Tyler Boyd, you know what Jamar Chase is bringing, and you know what T. Higgins brings, right? They got 3 of the best receivers in the game. Kevin Stefanski spoke the other day. He said Denzel's in the protocol, so we just got to work through that to see how it goes. Stefanski said following a 1-hour workout, we know what type of challenge this is. It's a huge challenge. They got great players, really good coaches. We know we know what we're getting into. That's head coach Kevin Stefanski talking about Denzel Ward when it comes to him being ready to play on Sunday against one of the best teams in terms of throwing the football, and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. Today we got some pretty good news that Denzel is working on the side. He has not physically cleared all the protocol situation, so he still has some other things to do that he needs to get up and doing within the next 72 hours or so before game time to have him clear. So that's one of the things that we really want to spot shadow. And when you look at that in terms of what Denzel Ward can bring, this is a big one. If Denzel Ward is out there, Denzel Ward can bring a different type of dynamic to what the Cleveland Browns want to do. And Denzel Ward is, to me, sometimes he's frustrating for me to watch. And the reason I'm saying he's sometimes frustrating for me to watch is because Denzel Ward has the highest skill set that could take the Browns to another level. He's a number 4 overall pick. When he came out of Ohio State, ball skills was crazy. I remember it was a game he was playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the first games. I think we tied that game with Pittsburgh. 2 interceptions on Big Ben in the rain, jump routes. He was jumping routes in zone coverage. Denzel Ward has the ability to be elite. He has the ability to be like, yo, I got this dude. Don't throw him the football. You see what kind of playmaker he is when it comes to how he jumped that route a couple of years ago at Cincinnati, took it back to the house, changed the whole complexion of the game. Denzel Ward, when he is playing at the top of his game, makes the Cleveland Browns a totally different team, because now we talk about having Myles Garrett, who's the best, pass rusher in the game. But then you take on top of that, think about this. You now have an opportunity to have a guy like Denzel Ward who's over there locking it down. And now you say you got a top 5 corner. Now you could do some things. Now you can unleash some blitzes. And now you can say, all right, you got 2.5 seconds to throw the football. If you ain't got the ball thrown out at that point in time, you're in trouble. Because either the sack is going to get, the pressure's going to get home, or you're going to be throwing the ball off target because the pressure's going to get there, and Denzel is locking this guy up in the back end. And I think Greg Newsome didn't understand a lot. He fancied himself as a guy who wants to be on the outside. He said, I want to be on the outside. That's where all the money is. That's also where all the smoke is. Hey, some jobs, bro, you ever see The Biggest Catch, right? I'll be watching the ice truckers of The Biggest Catch. Look, when you dealing with that, I ain't got no problem if they want to make more money than G. Bush. You outside in the cold weather in somewhere by Antarctica looking for like some salmon, and you doing that 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, ain't seen your family in 64 years. Hey, by all means, get all the bag. You want the bags? G. Bush don't want that. I'll take my little couple hours on UCSS. I'll be fine. That's all I want. Do a couple blogs. However, sometimes when the smoke is out there, that's where you get the money. And Denzel Ward is going to have Jamar Chase. When you got, and that's a big target on your back. When you got a Jamar Chase out there, now all of a sudden, you could kick down a notch. I'd rather take Tyler Boyd. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with my feet up with Greg Newsome on Tyler Boyd. Take it all day. I like Martin MJ Emerson over there on T. Higgins. Physical on physical. Let's go ahead and lock it up. And this is the thing about the Cleveland Browns is versatility. A lot of times they don't want to be talking about this a lot. They don't preach the versatility. Matter of fact, hit that like button. I can't even see it right now. Hit the like button for your boy. We appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to everybody who's in here too as well. Make sure you put your comments in. We'll go back and I'll try to comment on the UCSS page as well. Make sure you guys go do that. Next week, we're going to get that taken care of. But the Browns have the ability to field three corners that are going to be able to play man-to-man coverage, which is their strong suit. Last year, when you had Joe Woods, it didn't have all that. You didn't have the ability to come out there and do that because he was trying to play zone. He's trying to play zone and guys are getting confused. No, there's a thing to be said for just get out there and play fast. When I was playing in college, we had a defense that was a bend but don't break defense, stay in your gap defense, let the linebackers make a play defense. And what you try to do in those defenses, your mentality is, hey, let's work the ball up the field. Let's let Joe Burrow and those guys work the ball up the field. Sooner or later, if you keep making them take enough snaps, something's going to happen. False start. Now you're behind the chains. It was 1st and 10. Now it's 1st and 15. Now it's like, okay, well, now we got them behind the sticks. So now we can maybe do a little something where we may bring some pressure. But the goal is to make them take enough snaps where they'll have different inflictions or self-inflicting wounds that'll hurt themselves, that'll make them kick field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. For me, I hated that defense. And the reason why I hate that defense is because you look at it, your defense is on the field all those plays. And it's impossible when you got great quarterbacks the way it is in the NFL to consistently think that you're going to let guys matriculate down the field and they're not going to make plays. No, you're not going to keep them to 3. So instead of you give them 3 field goals up, you give up 1 field goal and 2 touchdowns and you still haven't accomplished anything. When you got a guy like Jim Schwartz, one of the things you're going to be able to do is now it's attack. Listen, we may give up something, but I'd rather give up something in attacking than letting them rest the whole game. Because if I attack you, I have an opportunity to make you miss the football. I got an opportunity to make you give up some stuff. And I'm going to be able to give the ball back to my offense because I'm going to be able to cause turnovers. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be able to give my offense more possessions. So that's what I want to look at. And the Browns have a great opportunity to do that, especially when you see what they have at corner, especially with Newsome, especially with Ward, and especially with MJ Emerson. Now, here's the thing I'm a little scared about while we're talking about the secondary. A little scared about this. I haven't seen Grant Delpit. Throw something in there. Now, I'm not scared. I ain't scared. I just gave you a monologue that said I'm not, we ain't scared of nobody. We good. But Grant Delpit, I haven't seen you, bro. And I know you had a good year. I'm expecting a great year from you this year. Here's where we play a little game in the chat. If you wanted to see a little more Grant Delpit in the preseason, put a 1 in there. Throw a 1 in the chat. Because if you don't, you think Grant Delpit going to come out here and be A-OK, tackling going to be suited up, ready to go. He going to match the intensity with Juan Thornhill. Let me throw that too. So if you think you wanted to see more of Grant Delpit, throw a 1. If you content and say he's gonna be all right, throw a 2 in there. The only reason I say that is this: I don't want no problems with these ones looking around talking about which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? Did he go this way? Was it my fault? Was it your fault? We don't know. We have to get communication. We ain't got no time for that. And Jim Schwartz texted me the other day, which he really didn't text me, but Jim Schwartz is not playing with that either. And last year, I'm willing to put it all on John Johnson. He's the one that's not in the building no more. I'm willing to put all of those. Listen, who did that? You know, when you're a kid, your mom asks you, y'all being bad back there. I can't. Who back there messing up? It was DeAnthony. Why y'all put it on DeAnthony all the time? Why can't it be Brian? It was DeAnthony. He was playing around and the vase fell and I was scared. Oh man, but I don't listen, Grant Delpit. I don't want to see no question marks. I need that to be, because Juan Thornhill was just fine by himself in there with all 3s and 2s against the Chiefs. No misunderstandings. So we have misunderstandings coming back. I just want to let you know that the culprit that people are looking at is you. You cool? All right. You cool? You straight? All right. Speak now, forever hold your peace. All right. We good then. We good with that, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Matter of fact, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. I don't know where you at. You may be from anywhere over the podcast world. You may be listening to me because I do stuff on Bleacher Report. You may be listening to me because I do a radio station called The Barbershop on 92 through the Fan. You may be listening to me because you just listened to me on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and this is the first time you ever saw me doing a solo show. This is what you can expect. Real conversations, real smoke, real commentary. We're not holding no punches here. We give some stories over here. Come on in. Sit in my chair back there. Get you a fade. You need a lineup? I got you. You want a buzz cut? We get you together. We need the old school shag? You need the beard trimmed up? We got you, man. We got an hour to do this every single Wednesday. So make sure when y'all pull up in the barbershop to pull up in here, you got to subscribe to Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show to get it. Every Monday and Wednesday. So you get the best of both worlds. You listen to Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show in the post during the week. Awesome. You're going to get the post-game show. Post-game show comes on Sunday. Comes on Sunday right after the game. 2-minute warning, instant reaction. We do crazy numbers on there. You get the raw emotion. Then guess what? Tune right back on in Monday. You get the panel, me, Jay Crawford, Adam Bull, all that good stuff. Come on into the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We get a round robin. We break down the game again, and then guess what? Your boy G. Bush, he comes back on Monday at 3:00. Right back to the smoke. Right back to doing what we supposed to be doing, and then we get a little day off. Right then, we get the nasty taste of our mouth out of it on Tuesday, or we continue to celebrate that win on Tuesday. We come right back on Wednesday, and we right back to breaking down the Cleveland Browns the next week, and that's what we do here in the barbershop as a preview-style show. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a doggone thing. And with that being said, we also want to say there's multiple ways that you could donate to the barbershop. You can donate and support the barbershop at paypal.me/GBush91 or on Cash App $GBush91. And I've always said it don't even got anything to do with money at all. If you just want to show your love and your support, guess what? I take a like. If you want to show your love and support, put a comment in the comment section below. That makes our life great. That makes my videos shoot up in the algorithm. That makes sure other Browns fans and other Browns people from around the world can see my content. So it don't even always got to be about money, right? Make sure you're doing that, and then you give me a like and a comment. We right back. We good to go, bro. You and me, we see eye to eye. And we appreciate everybody who does so. Let's get to it. Now, we've talked about kind of a little bit about the, how we want to go about that, the energy we're supposed to have. We've got into one of our guys in the secondary in Denzel Ward. Good news that he looks like he's going to be back. I suggest today, Adam the Bull was talking about it on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He gave a slight edge to the receivers of the Bengals. He gave a slight edge to the receivers because of what was going on with Denzel Ward. If they are back, I like the Browns' chances. If Denzel Ward is back, I like the Browns' chances. They played well against the Bengals. They played well against Joe Burrow. I see no reason why the Cleveland Browns with this defense should not match up well against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's good news for you as well. While we're doing that, let's get to this. Let's get to the keys to victory. Keys to the victory for the Cleveland Browns. And I'll get to my prediction coming up here in a little bit as well. Keys to victory. First of all, let me get to the offensive side of football. Let's get to the offensive side of football. And I think when you look at it, starts no more than one Deshaun Watson. This is what he did against his last preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs. 12 of 19, 141, 89 QBR, 2 touchdowns. This is, to me, this is what I'm talking about. Deshaun Watson is one of those guys. There's a lot of people that want to if, ands, and buts and all this other stuff, and they got him ranked 22, and he's the biggest question mark. And I'm going to just give you a rebuttal and to kind of get rid of these talking points offensively. I've never seen some people count 6 games so highly for a dude that hadn't played in 2 years in my life. And my question is to this, let's be clear. The same people that's sitting up here telling me these 6 games was the craziest 6 games they've ever seen. There was doubt on Baker Mayfield's name for 2 calendar years. 2 calendar years. Baker Mayfield did not play well under Freddie Kitchens. He came back the next year, the first year under Stefanski, played well. Then the next year after that, did not play well. My thought process is this. We've sat here and we made excuses. We said it was the weather. It was a nasty game outside. G. Bush, just give him a chance. I heard it was the best. He's the best since 99. G. Bush, just give him a doggone chance. You guys in this city are so pessimistic. Okay. We heard his shoulders have fallen off. And what are we going to do, G. Bush? Give the kid a break. His shoulder's fallen off, and you guys want to run him out of town. Okay. Even when he decided he wanted to have elective surgery and the locker room turned on him, you kept saying, well, Deshaun Watson, if he's going to be out for 11 games, and we could just bring Baker back, insert him into the lineup, and then when Deshaun come back. My question is this. I'm confused. If you are willing to give all of those breaks, all of those reprieves, all of that just very, that positive energy, giving it and just staying steady. You stayed steady with Colt McCoy. Year after year being mediocre. Listen, just go ahead and give Brian Hoyer a couple more games. He had us rolling. But you telling me you got the biggest doubt of your life about Deshaun Watson playing 6 games with no practice, no preseason, coming back in the middle of the year where everybody is lathered up in playoff races, and he didn't even play the year prior to that. After thinking he was probably going to jail for years. Could have. And you telling me you based your whole evaluation on those 6 games? That's disingenuous. I'm sorry. It's just disingenuous. I got to call you out on that. I have to. There's people still giving people excuses. People in their 3rd, 4th try. Listen, people love Derek Carr. Oh, Derek Carr, you can win games with him. You know how many people sitting up there saying you can win games with golf? But they got a hard line for Deshaun Watson. They told you it's a disgrace if he don't win a championship. It's all for naught. Excuse me, when did you get standards? I'll be wanting to see these standard cap. When did your standards get up here? Huh? Like, no, I'll be looking at people being like, look, you see people with your ex-girlfriend and she's running around telling this dude, the new dude she with, I do not do anything but first class. And you'd be like, she's a liar. We didn't never do first class when you was with me. It was all coach. As a matter of fact, we was scraping for the little business class upgrades. Don't let us get an aisle seat. Talk about, I'm looking at this dude. Oh, she got you in that program, huh? Uh-huh. You can remake yourself over every 3 years. You just, yeah, I've never been in coach. Ever. People be capping. But all of a sudden, we ain't had no quarterback. We ain't had nothing moving. We had Cody Kessler. And all of a sudden, if Deshaun Watson don't win the championship in his first year, it was the worst trade in the history. Stop. Come on now. Like, we're not going to play those games. But the cool thing about it is I think Deshaun Watson is stepping up to the table. I think that he been playing possum on y'all. I like what you're doing. Because what he did is he really sat back and said, hold on. Okay, I see where I'm at. You got to read the lay of the land sometimes. And Deshaun Watson is thinking, well, you know what? I ain't even going to get in my bag too much. These cats be watching my Instagrams, talking about why you be playing on, why he always buying stuff. They be watching my Instagram. Everybody, listen, I ain't seen nobody on my show for months. I see everybody got PTO. Hey, what the heck? Earl ain't even here no more. I'm like, where the hell is Earl at? Huh? I'm like, what kind of PTO package the producers got? Shout out to my man Earl. I see you out there, bro. We ain't gonna talk about Jay. This man, look, bro, the yacht boys. Man, Jay live on the water, bro. Like, we talk about, I ain't see Bull for weeks. He's like, I was in Seattle trying out different sandwiches and just doing Bull stuff, just being angry, just knocking down little kids, kicking ass, taking names. I said, man, this cat, where you at? I'm off again, G. But they tell Deshaun Watson, hey, you better be locked in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You better be locked in a room, a dungeon, getting ready for Joe Burrow. Come on, man. Come on. I think he got y'all together. You know what he did? He said, I'm gonna just duck off. I'm not even gonna do too much. I'm gonna chill out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just play like I'm garbage now. He just sandbagging. Oh, Joe Burrow, what do you think, Deshaun, about you being a top? They don't have you as a top 25 quarterback. Well, I can't, get caught up in that. I haven't played in 2 years. I shouldn't be in the top 25. They're looking around. What? I'm confused. What is this new playbook, Deshaun? Who's advising him? Look, Deshaun, do you want new receivers to come in? Evidently they got some receivers available. Do you want them? Listen, I love the guys we got here, man. I think we're building something special. These guys are special individuals, and I think it's going to be fireworks out here. What? What is this new Deshaun Watson? Shout out, because I think that's how he's moving. That's how he's moving right now. I'll tell you what. Let's get to this defense real quick. Before we get to the keys of the game, I appreciate y'all. I don't know how many people we got in here, but you know how we do. We're punctual here. We get you in, we say an hour, we're going to give you exactly an hour. Don't think that we're going to come over here and you be like, G. Bush going over again. Be talking too much. We're going to give you that same hour. Let's get to keys to victory on the defensive side of the football. You see it down there. Myles Garrett is all over the bottom of the screen. The Browns D-line must make Joe Burrow work for windows. And what I mean by that, Joe Burrow is a master of moving, sliding, finding arm angles. That's what makes the elite quarterbacks elite. It's slide left, slide west, step up, oh, I'm going to dip back a little bit, gauge a little bit, engage, dip back, give my tackle in time to engage and block him, right? Slide to the side to the left. It's like you're doing the Cupid shuffle. Slide to the left. Boom, 2 hops. That's exactly what they be. And Joe Burrow was a mastermind at doing this, doing that, and he's still mobile enough to run, right? So what you got to do, the Cleveland Browns have to, when you're running that wide 9, where they say run the arc and stay on track. If you notice, they're angled in towards the quarterback. And what they want to do is rush outside, almost through the outside shoulder or the clavicle of the tackles. What that does, it creates a invisible kind of wall or a force field around Joe Burrow, and then you can implode from the inside. Then you can trap and encase the quarterback from inside, because now he doesn't have enough areas to throw over the top of people or sidearm. He's worried about traffic and junk by his legs because he's enclosed. Now you can get hit elbows by the defensive tackles. You guys coming from the backside, they'll hit his arm, throw the ball. Quarterbacks like this, they're coming down swiping. That's why the wide 9 is so devastating when it comes to making sure that you're encompassing the quarterback. But to do that, you got to stay on the arc. It almost looks like, the 2 defensive ends is lined outside, they're arcing here. The defensive tackles is cocked inside, and they're angling in. So everything's like a room closing down on you. That's why it's so scary to have a guy like Zadarius Smith and Myles Garrett who are in wide stances, who have no responsibilities, but either running straight over the tackle's chest or running right around the tackle. And they got inside goals. They could do a lot of different things. So the goal of this situation is the Cleveland Browns, they don't necessarily need to blitz, and you'll find out why. I've been preaching about what Jim Schwartz is and what he ain't all off season. You're going to see why it works, because he does have that talent on the outside. Secondly, you got guys like JOK, whom now I see as the heat-seeking missile. He's the heat-seeking missile. To me, Anthony Walker is the guy inside, cognizant of what's going on, looking at the guards, diagnosing whether that's going to be a draw or a handback or some sort of play that is up the middle, because that's what we're susceptible to. He's the guy that's going to re-diagnose, big enough to take on bigger guys like guards. You don't want him to get into him, but he is big enough to do that. JOK is the heat-seeking missile. When he sees ball, go get ball. Whether that's a screen, one of the things that destroys tunnel screens, bubble screens, quick stuff outside is that guy kamikazing right into them ball carriers and the blockers. Receivers don't like that. When JOK see it, heat-seeking missile, I want you to go over there and blow everything up. Then you can worry about rallying. We'll let Delpit, Juan Thornhill clean that up. Those are areas of opportunities for the Cleveland Browns, and we want to test that leg. We want to test it. We want him moving off that spot. We want him having to run outside and throw off one leg. We want him have to land on that leg. He may have to have a jump pass. We want him to always be cognizant that he has to put 100% of torque, force, everything into that leg to get it done. And if we can do that from the get-go, I think the Cleveland Browns will come out of this game and they will be very impressive with the way they do it, because they're going to have sacks, they're going to have turnovers, and the speed of the game will just look different. It'll just look different. And that's the thing that you saw with the twos, with the no-name gangsters. With the twos, you saw the same safeties, interceptions, tips, fumbles, all that stuff. You saw that with the twos. That means they are ingraining a way of playing football. It don't matter if you're one or not. It don't matter if you're in the 2s or 3s. This is the way Cleveland Browns football play. This is the way we go at it. And that's exactly what we need to see coming up in this game. We appreciate you guys out there. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be every Wednesday, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We appreciate you guys. Before we get to our predictions of the game, we got one more thing. One more thing to tell you. Now, you guys will have an opportunity to get to this. We got giveaways here too. So if you stuck around to the last part of the show, congratulations, because it's your lucky day. We do giveaways here on the Barbershop every single show. You can get an opportunity, as you can see the Barbershop gear right there over there. You got the Adidas hoodies and the Adidas stuff and the pants and all that good stuff. Barbershop, you can check that out and check the Barbershop merchandise out at squadlocker.com. If you email me at gbush91@hotmail.com with the subject line Go Browns before 12 a.m. tomorrow, which is September 7th, 2023, you'll be entered into a random drawing for a complimentary Browns Barbershop t-shirt. Yes, yes, yes. This is why I'm the best in the game. Not only am I the most electrifying, the most entertaining, and the people's champ, I take care of my people. You ain't even got to do nothing for it. All you got to do is email me at gbush91 at hotmail.com with the subject line Go Browns before 12 a.m. September 7th, 2023. You'll be entered into a random drawing for a complimentary Browns Barber Shop t-shirt. That is all. No purchase necessary, and you have to do it by 12 a.m. tonight. So good luck for that as well. And as always, thank you for supporting the Barbershop. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Right now, I can't see what your chats are. We will get that fixed. And if you're joining us now, reason why you can't see the chat is because the way we set it up to have me sit up for my beautiful studios, the beautiful barbershop studios in my palatial estate. The reason I can't really see the chat is because I have to send this feed off to, our good friends over at UCSS and get it together. But the good production team, Mikey McNuggets, all the people said they're going to get it done. So we're excited that we will be able to have much more interaction. If you listen to the Barbershop, I'm huge on taking calls, huge on interaction, huge on getting your guys' thoughts on what I'm saying throughout the show. That's a huge part of what we do. So we're going to get that figured out and make sure that is a big part of being over here and doing this as well, is getting your thoughts heard on the station and on the show. So we'll get that figured out by the next time we do this. So you see the graphic up here. Browns versus Bengals, Sunday, September 10th, 1 p.m., Cleveland Browns Stadium. NFL on NBC. It just looked good down there. It just looked good. I'm excited for this game, excited for the opportunity. Bengals coming into the town, you know what they bring to the table. You know where they've been. No disrespect to the Bengals. No, if you stick around to this front part, you might think, oh, G. Bush was disrespecting the Bengals. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Stay to the end, bro. Bengals do their thing. Shout out to Adam the Bull. He's a Bengals guy, and for the most part, I think he's fair on what the Bengals are. I think he's fair. The Bengals got a darn good team. They can do it in multiple ways. Joe Mixon is sneaky. I expect him, the game plan to be draws with Mixon, keep it in manageable. I think Mixon can be a problem in the screen game. And I like what their defense does. They got underrated defensive ends. When you got Hubbard and you got Hendrickson, I like Pratt in the middle. Reader is a top 5 dude when it comes to stopping the run. They're a little shaky in the secondary. Some new guys that I think you could take advantage of. But overall, very solid defense, good defensive coordinator. They're going to stay, not going to give you much good tackling. They don't give you much in terms of yards after catch. They usually do a really good job of zipping you up, tackling guys, and getting ball carriers to the floor, right, into the turf. Offensively, we ain't even got to tell you what it is. Joe Burrow, it starts with them, and it ends with Joe Burrow. He's a dude, if you let him get an inch, he's going to take a mile. If you give him any time, he's coming back. If you don't sack him, he's going to shrug you off and throw the football, and they're going to score. You got to make sure he on the ground, all the way on the ground. You can't be buddy-buddy with him. He's sneaky like that. He's so cool, He cool. One side patting you on the back, and the other side, he got that hammer ready to put to drop the hammer on you. He trying to get you up out of here. For real. If they could put some extra points on you, they will. Jamar Chase, he's a one cut and go. Jamar Chase can catch a slant and get out on the whole team. I'm just giving you what it is right now, just from what I see. If they was terrible, I would tell you they terrible, but they're not. We're gonna get down to the get down when we give these predictions up. T. Higgins is a big body dude. He can dunk on you. He gonna box you out. He got good catch radius. He can throw the ball in really long wingspan. Catch the ball here. Catch the ball here. Tyler Boyd is one of the best third receivers in the game. He was a number 2 receiver for a very long time. Run out everything in the route tree. Has no problem going over the middle. Has no problem, curls, digs, all of it. China routes, all of it. He's good at all that. Up front, they can be exposed a little bit. They did get Orlando Brown, who's at left tackle, right tackle, Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams, to me, is the weakest link. Soft batch cookies. Zadarius Smith, you got to eat. Zadarius Smith, you got to win me 3 or 4 of them one-on-one matchups. He cannot hold you one-on-one. You got to look at it as you got an opportunity. See, that's the problem what happened with Jadeveon Clowney last year. He was looking for the easy way out. Didn't you listen to the Rocky soundtrack? There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home. Hey, stop looking for, ain't no short, that by the way, them lyrics is hard. There's no shortcut home. You tell somebody that means you got to be ready for fight for 5-6 rounds. That means you got to knock him out. You got to knock him out a few times, right? But you listen, you supposed to win that over to Zadarius Smith. You supposed to win that. Left-hand side, we got Myles Garrett, Orlando Brown Jr. I'm sorry. I'm taking Myles Garrett. They be like, who you got? Thor or Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett. Who you got? Batman with the Superman Buster outfit on? Who you got? Give me Myles Garrett. Who you got? You got the Red Hawk. The Red Hawk. And that tight end. You got Iron Man. Double teaming. You already know who I got. Easy money. I still need 2 of them things. I need 2 of them. Wrapped, encased, 2 of them on Joe Burrow. We need that and a strip sack. We might need that. So you already know where I'm going with that when it comes to that. You look in the secondary, you look what the Bengals can do offensively, you look at what they can do defensively, and they're a bona fide contending team that could get to another Super Bowl. And it's tough because you're seeing that type of energy early. See, but what you can do, sometimes it's better to catch somebody early than late. Because this game counts just as much as the game would count at the end of the season, which I believe is going to have playoff implications for first round overall buys. The Cleveland Browns need to come out here and take advantage of, now I'm not just thinking about just saying playoffs. I think about how you get there. I'm looking at a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm not putting the cart before the horse. What I'm doing is this is what people plan when they wake you up and they tell you when you're younger, G. Bush, what do you want to do when you grow up? They put you on the track. If you say you want to be a doctor, they let you know up front. All right, you got to go to master's school. You're going to have to go to residency. You're going to have to do the ABCD to even get here, right? Why would I tell myself I want to go to the playoffs and not put down A, B, C, and D in a way to get there to be more successful? If I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs as we speak, Chris Jones is holding out. Not only is that he holding out, Kelsey is their main target, and he hurt his knee, and they're playing on Thursday night. If the Lions come out of there with that L, okay, we off and running. Another contender for tops in the division. The Bengals, Joe Burrow ain't played all season. He coming to Cleveland, you healthy. If Denzel Ward is playing, you got one. That's how you start stacking wins. Good teams, like the Kansas City Chiefs understand that they want that playoff spot. They want to have home field advantage throughout. So they put themselves in positions that they win early games in September while you still figuring it out. For once, let us figure it out. Let us figure out what we need to do and get set up right. You got the Bengals, you got the Ravens, you got the Steelers, you got another guy, the Tennessee Titans, who, by the way, usually is in the mix with their coach. Set yourself up. I'm not saying you're going to win all them, but set yourself up so you can slide to the left. Slide. See what I'm saying? See, if you wouldn't have got that if you wasn't watching. If you came late, you just came late. You're not going to get that. Just ain't the G. Bush. See how I got time to set it up? I set something up. That's like I set that up way back. See? On the other side of the football, Cleveland Browns. Leroy Hoare came on the show today. Shout out to Leroy. He was on fire. You know, Leroy got all the stories, and we didn't have some great numbers. Shout out to everybody who on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We did 1 million in a month. The rest of these dudes, y'all better catch up. I ain't got no problem with y'all. I see a lot of dudes on the internet now. A lot of guys on the internet when they said they just a little internet show. It's a lot of crowded guys. It's enough room for everybody, right? But we did 1 million. I'm just saying that's the goal. That's the bar. You got to get there. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that 1 million. You know what I'm saying? But Leroy was on with us, and we was doing our thing, bro. Leroy said this. He said, don't forget where your bread is buttered. Don't forget. And let's not act like Nick Chubb is regular. Let's not act like he's some guy. He's not. That is Nick Chubb, Mr. 5.3. You know what that is. That's yards per carry. And it might be Mr. 6.0 come this year because his light boxes and because of the man Deshaun Watson behind him. But don't be afraid to first down. Yeah, go ahead. Let me see how. I just want to see if y'all second down. I just want to see if y'all got it. Y'all got it or not? Third down. Oh, we got a first down. I'm gonna just see if y'all gonna stop. I'm gonna see if y'all got a problem with. See what I'm saying? That's tough. Now that play action. Now you pull. Come on now. Don't act like Nick Chubb ain't that guy. Come on. Don't act like Amari Cooper ain't running 17 routes around these young boys out here. And then you could get into the Gadget City and Elijah Moore and the rest of them. But go ahead and let Joe Bitonio put the pause on them real quick. Let him put the pause on them for at least a couple quarters. I want to test what they talking about. They might want to give it up. They might want to say Joe is a little tired. They might want to say Joe tired. We live to fight another day. We ain't have it. Because that's why I'm trying to test their temperament. At the end of the day, Cleveland Browns, we here. We rolling. Prediction of the day, Cleveland Browns, 37. Cincinnati Bengals, 21. 37-21. Hey, and by the way, that's a gentleman's 30. That's a gentleman's 21 out here. What do you mean by that? Y'all low-key got touched. Myles Garrett, 2+ sacks. I got Deshaun Watson. He may not get 300, but it's going to be 275 and something. And I got Nick Chubb with over $1 billion and 2 touchdowns. Guys is looking good. With that being said, come bring it in here, guys. Listen, it's our opportunity. We've been waiting. A lot of dudes been talking crazy and reckless for the whole offseason, but that's how we like it. Didn't nobody ever give us nothing. Didn't nobody ever tell us nothing. Didn't nobody ever say the Cleveland Browns was my favorite colors. But guess what? That's fine, because you know what talks? Them points on that board. The only thing that matters is the cats up in here. It is not their time. Joe Burrow had his time to go to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes had his time to do what he needed to do. It is our time. It is your time. It's Cleveland's time. It's time to bring back the dog pound. It's time to bring back guys that's ready to not be scared who we playing, whether that's Burrow, Mahomes, whatever, whoever it is. That's what type of team you got. You don't got to be scared because you got weapons too. They got chins too. They may hit us with a haymaker, but guess what? The fights start. Everybody is hard until you got punched right back in your face. And that's what we're looking at as the Cleveland Browns. With that being said, I want to thank everybody. This is just the first one. I thank everybody for hanging out with us, doing what we do over here at the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I got to go pick some players and get with Adam Bull and Jay Crawford because I will win this. I will win this year. You can't hide from me, and you know what it is. The third member of Harlem Heat. Suckers. Well, peace out. We'll check you out coming on Sundays. It's Jay Bush. You know what it is. In the building.